Hey you swing like a little girl. A shocked veteran dad hears a baseball coach mock his son during a game, and his blood starts boiling. He jumps onto the field, swinging a baseball bat in his hand, and surprises the rude coach from behind. 14-year-old Max loved his dad, David, to the core, and if there was something the boy loved besides him, it was definitely baseball. The boy's heart beat to the rhythm of the crack of the bat, and to Max, baseball wasn't just a game, it was his blood and soul, and he dreamed of becoming a great player one day. When Max woke up every morning, a broad smile would beam across his face as he glanced around the walls adorned with posters of his favorite baseball players. He dreamed of a day when he would become a star player like the ones on the posters and have his very own fan following crowding around him for his autograph. But Max's worst nightmare arrived in the form of Coach Anderson, his new trainer, who seized every little opportunity to ridicule him. "Maxie, what's up, son? Are you all right?" Max's dad, retired soldier David, worriedly approached him when he saw Max entering the house, his shoulders slumped and eyes sunken. Ever since Max lost his mother to cancer 5 years ago, his dad had become his everything. But what Max loved about his father was that he treated him like his buddy and not just a teenage boy in his adolescence needing extra watch and care. Max and David would sometimes sit in front of the fireplace and say cheers, with Max holding a glass of Coke and David his favorite vodka. It was a Tuesday, Max's favorite day of the week, because they always had baseball games in school on Tuesdays. Max would sing praises of his stint at the game and describe his master strikes down to the last inch. But that day, David didn't hear any of that. Something was up with the boy. When Max never showed up for his favorite ginger tea or to chat about his day at school, David decided to check on his son. When he approached the ajar door of Max's bedroom, the father was unsettled. "Maxie, what's wrong?" "Hey, champ, why are you crying, honey? Did anyone bother you at school?" David bolted toward Max, who was sobbing uncontrollably in his bed. But Max wouldn't tell his dad what had happened. He wouldn't tell him that just an hour ago, Coach Anderson dragged him to the center of the field and mocked, "You throw like a girl. You'll never make it in this sport, kid. You're a born loser. Give up." "Buddy, I'm sorry if I didn't make it again to your match today. I couldn't come for the last few games as I was busy fixing our car. If that's what got you mad, I'm sorry, okay? I'll be there for the next match. Promise." David regretted, knowing little that it was not him but Coach Anderson who was responsible for Max's heartbreak. Max wiped away his tears and nodded, but Coach Anderson's cruel words kept ringing in his head. David sighed with relief and cheered his son up. "And boy, how about I join you for a Coke now? And we watch a movie, yeah?" Max faked a smile and accompanied his dad. They watched The Grinch again on an old DVD and laughed their lungs out. And as time slipped by, Max got over what happened in school that day. But the following afternoon, he returned home looking upset and almost on the verge of bursting into tears again. And this time, David knew something was seriously wrong and decided to find out. His doubts were confirmed when he secretly followed Max to his room and saw him angrily hurl his baseball bat and gloves before storming to the bathroom. David's worry grew as he had never seen his son behave strangely, especially when it came to handling his precious baseball accessories. "Max never throws his baseball things like that." David wondered in shock as he approached the washroom. "Max, kiddo, can you come out for a minute when you're done? We need to talk." "Not now, Dad. Please, leave me alone," Max cried. Max sat in the toilet, recounting how Coach Anderson openly mocked his performance that afternoon. As it turned out, the coach had imitated Max's swing and mimicked his running style in front of all the boys. But what hurt Max the most was when Coach Anderson belittled him, saying, "You're a disgrace to the team. Why don't you go take up embroidery with the girls instead of being a waste of space on the field?" David anxiously waited for his son, and when Max came out, he wouldn't talk or just tell his father what had happened. Deep inside, Max was afraid that even his dad would come to believe he was incapable of becoming a star baseball player. "Nothing, Dad. I was just stressed with a few things. I'm all right now," he said, but his eyes didn't meet David's, and David knew his son was lying. All right. And you didn't tell me about..." David broke Max's silence. Max stuttered, thinking his father had found out. "About what, Dad?" "About your baseball match tomorrow. Mr. Kenny visited this morning. He was so excited about his son Tom playing for the new team in your school. I told him my son will lead the team to the trophy this time, and I know I wouldn't go wrong. I'm so excited about the game tomorrow, Sonny." But Max was not as excited as his father and bluntly nodded. "Oh yeah, the match. Don't hold your hopes high, Dad. There are better players than me. I'm tired, Dad. Can I just sleep for some time? I have to start early tomorrow and practice before the finals." Max's words jolted David. Whenever there was a baseball match in school, Max would jump around the house with excitement, discussing his strikes and tactics to lead his team to a mind-boggling win. But this time, Max was clearly unhappy and definitely not excited about the match, leaving David reeling. "I've only missed a week of watching his baseball games in school," David pondered. "Something's really wrong. I'll find out at the match tomorrow." The following afternoon, David sat on the edge of the seat, shouting and cheering for his son at the top of his voice. But he was disheartened when Max missed a strike and his team terribly lost. Max had always given his best shot on the field, but this time, it felt as if the boy did not play with his heart and soul. Before David could fathom what had happened to his son's baseball skills, he saw Coach Anderson dragging Max to the sideline and yelling at him. "Hey, you swing like a little girl. Come on, loser. Is that the best you can do? What a disgrace to the team." David could not believe his ears. The sports coach who was supposed to inspire and motivate his son was mocking him and undermining his confidence in front of everyone. "Coach, please, I'm trying my best. Stop saying such things to me. It hurts," David heard Max plead. "Your best? Oh, really? I don't see your best yet, you scared little duckling. This is not good enough. You're just holding us back, kid. A snail could move faster. Pathetic. Geez, this is getting out of hand. The coach shouldn't be treating that poor boy like that," someone whispered from the crowd. "Yeah, he's so rude. He can't treat a kid like that. Poor thing. Someone needs to do something about this. It's gone too far. Where are his parents?" David heard another say. He clenched his fist, and his eyes blazed with fury as he witnessed Coach Anderson's relentless verbal assault. David knew he could no longer hold back his temper. He remembered his life in the Army, where he was taught how uncontrolled anger and emotional outbursts destroy discipline and success. But David was ready to break all the rules to protect his son from his bully. As his eyes darted across the field, David found a baseball bat lying on the tracks. Without sparing a second, he stormed onto the field, picked the bat, and marched toward Coach Anderson. "And you're an embarrassment to baseball," the coach ranted, only to freeze when the crowd suddenly gasped. "That's enough, Coach. You've crossed the line. I won't stand by while you belittle my son. This ends now." He heard a voice boom from behind, startling his nerves. The crowd fell into grave silence, watching David swing the bat over his head as an alarmed Coach Anderson turned around. "Stop! What are you doing? Stop!" His heart skipped a beat as he stepped back in fear. "I'm doing what I was supposed to do long back, Coach. How dare you talk to my son like that?" David fumed. "One blow, just one blow to your brainless head, and you'll never speak that way to any kid again." But David knew violence was not the answer. That was not what his peers at the camp had taught him. And that was definitely not something he would teach his son. So David hurled the bat on the ground and invited Coach Anderson for a one-on-one challenge as everyone exclaimed in astonishment. "Coach, I've had enough of you mocking my son and the other players," David declared, grabbing the gloves and bat from Max. "I propose we settle this on the field. Today, just you and me." "Are you challenging me?" Coach Anderson boasted. "You think you can beat me? I've been training for years. I don't have time for your foolish games." "We'll see that, Coach. Come on, it's not you versus me. It's you versus a dad." "Oh, do you think you're gonna lose? Are you afraid you're a disgrace on the field, hot coach?" David bumped his gloved fists, provoking the coach. A sense of anticipation filled the air as the crowd gathered, eager to witness the showdown between David and Coach Anderson that afternoon. Max nervously stood at the sidelines, clutching his chest, his eyes fixed on his father. As the match began in full swing, David stepped up confidently on the field, and with each swing of the bat, he impressed the crowd. "Did you see that hit, Coach? That's what you call a strike," David taunted Coach Anderson. Tension mounted in the stadium as David sent the ball soaring into the distance, securing his victory over Coach Anderson in the final round of the match. The crowd erupted into a thunderous roar of cheers and applause, and Max ran around screaming, "That's my dad! He did it! That's my dad!" Coach Anderson's face hung in shame as he marched out of the field, thinking it was the end. But another wave of shock awaited him the next day. The school board and parents, who had witnessed his mistreatment of Max and the other boys, swiftly took action. "Mr. Anderson, we appreciate your service in our school, but we don't have a spot for you anymore. You're fired." The principal dismissed Coach Anderson. As the dust settled, Max hugged his dad and cried on his shoulders. "I'm sorry, Dad. I thought even you would think I was incapable of playing baseball. I'm so sorry for not telling you." David pulled Max into a tight embrace, and as the sun cast a warm golden glow, they walked hand in hand toward the baseball field to practice. Impressed by his sporting spirit and morals, the school faculty appointed David their new baseball coach. "I'll lead the team to the next trophy, Dad, I promise." Max's eyes beamed with joy and tears as he made this silent promise to his beloved father. What can we learn from this story? A father is a child's true hero and fountain of motivation. Max gave up on his quest to become a star baseball player due to his coach's taunts. He even doubted his ability at the game but changed his mind and came to believe in himself when his father stepped up for him against Coach Anderson. Violence is not the answer. There are wiser ways you can teach your children to tackle problems than preparing them for a wrestle. When David witnessed Coach Anderson mocking his son, he was furious. He even picked the bat and approached the coach, but decided violence was not the answer. David ultimately challenged the coach for a one-on-one match to show him his place.